All right, we're going to be changing out this Square D 40 amp breaker for my EcoSmart hot water heater, and you can easily match them up because you're going to have the breaker type right here. I don't know if you can see that too well, but this is a Square D type HOM 10KA, and it's got a little number down at the bottom, DW8586, and we changed it out. And this is basically, it's a 40 amp double throw, and it's the same thing. It's HOM 10KA, except this one's a DP4075. I think that's just when the whatever factory they made that matter. I'm not even sure, but if you know, put in the comments below. But it was a good match. And when you're taking the panel off, it's usually 4 screws. You remove those, pull that out, and then I'll show you how to change that breaker out. And one of the elements we believe is bad, but on top of that, we had a breaker. This one kept tripping, and we believe this one's going to be a little bit on the weak side. So first thing is, set your voltmeter to the AC setting. And this is a sub panel, so I have the voltage basically killed upstairs, but let's just make sure. So we got no voltage whatsoever. And first we are gonna disconnect these wires. That out of the way. Put that one out of the way. Breakers, you guys push to the right and they come out. That's a new breaker. These clips go right in there. Just line them up. Give it a nice firm push. Okay, there we go. Put these wires back in. Give them a little bit of a twist. They're sitting a little bit better in there. Alright, that one finally slipped into the back. Tighten that down. I don't know if you can see, but you want to make sure that you're pushing down on this, because that's going to open up that little horseshoe part. basically that's what you're seeing. That's where your wire is going to go, right in the back there when that's in. So you definitely want to loosen up your screw enough so you can slip that in. That one's in. Let's get this red wire in here. Push that in and make sure that's horseshoes open in the back. More slack there, so that one's in. We'll tighten this one first. Make sure it's nice and snug. All right. Pull on each wire. Oh, I can tighten that a little bit more. All right, and there you go. That's nice and tight. Side, make sure it looks good. And this one we'll do a little bit more. Okay. All right, this is our EcoSmart hot water heater, 2700 kilowatts, and basically it stopped heating the water properly. And I did some diagnosis before, and a couple things that we noticed was one of the elements wasn't working the way it should, and we found out that it had tripped a 40 amp breaker that was hooked up to the element. So we are going to go visually inspect. We're going to take them out, and we basically wash Alright, so this is the inside of the heater. Now you have heating elements in each of these tubes that are definitely going to need some maintenance. So we are going to take that apart. Alright, my last video I basically changed the flow meter in here because we weren't getting a proper heat coming out of the heater. That was part of the problem, but the other problem was this heating element right here. And how I figured that out is I have basically 3 40 amp breakers hooked up to each one of these heating elements. And what was happening, this unit was drawing 32 amps roughly. This was drawing 32 amps, and this one was drawing 32 amps when basically you have all your faucets running. Like usually if you have one shower going, this one's going to be energized. If you have like a shower and a faucet going, this one will be energized, and then this one's going to kind of work on keeping the heat steady. So this will fluctuate from, you know, anywhere from like 1 amp to that 32 amps, depending on the heat draw that you need. But anyway, the problem we were running across was this one, the middle one, kept tripping a 40 amp breaker. So one of two things are happening. So it's either going to be a, let me set my meter to ohms. But basically, I believe the heating element is bad. On top of the breaker was on a weak side. And how I know that is by resetting it a couple times. It felt like on the soft side. Not a total indicator, but I believe that's what the issue is. So anyway, all right, so we're going to measure continuity on that. We're going to measure the ohms reading on the heating elements. And here's a brand new element. And we got this one. It's for a 27K unit. It's a 90240. And we got this from Home Depot because it's the copper ones. We looked at some on Amazon, and they were like the nickel plated ones. They looked a lot cheaper. They were cheaper, in fact, but I just didn't feel good about them. Anyway, so on a new element, so on the ohms meter, you're going to get about 6.8 on this one. So that's what your ohms reading is going to be. Around 6.6, 6.9, somewhere in that range. That's what the brand new one is reading at. So basically we're going to see if we have the same type of reading on the rest of these. So we're going to put this on this one. So this one's 6.9. We're going to test this other element up here. That one's 7. And then there's one here on the end. There's also about 6.7. So they all look pretty good. So by that indication there, that is telling me that these are all basically in good shape. But I'm going to go a step further. We're going to do a visual inspection. Let's see how good shape these actually are. And it's basically just a Phillips head screw. Way. I'll put a wrench on there. Now you can see this element, how it's going to sit on top there. Basically, you're going to put a wrench on here and then one on here and turn it counterclockwise. Oh, and on mine, I put 2 shutoff valves here, and then one on this side. I also put a drain, and then I also put a feed line in here. And basically, what this is going to do is, when you clean these elements, instead of having to take them out like I see most people do, I run vinegar through this line. It goes up, routes through, and then drains out here. So let's get this to the right size. Right, so that's good for that. And the bottom one. The bottom was going to be too big. There we go. Two wrenches, one here, one on that other side. Basically, just twist it counterclockwise. So there you go, counterclockwise. It should be loose enough. I should be able to. Nope, not yet. See how loose that is. Not quite there. So that's one element coming out. I'll do a visual inspection. So, not too bad. As you can tell, it's not... It's got some buildup on it, but like I said, I just cleaned these the other day, so they're not too bad. So that's more rust than anything, but so that element's in good shape. So we'll just put that back in. I always like to put a little bit of water, a little bit of wetness back on the seal. So that goes down. And then a couple turns. Now these you want to make sure you have them on the snug side. Alright, so that one's done. So we'll just push those wires off right there for now. Do this middle one. As you can see how each one of these goes onto that cylinder. And then that one's a little bit shorter, that one's the next length, and then that one's the longest. So it's kind of difficult to put them out of order, but it's always a good idea to try to keep a good eye on that. All right, let's take this element out. Put this over here. Now we got enough room to get this one out. Loose. See if I can get it by hand. Yep. so I got all 3 wires. Actually, all 6 wires disconnected. Pull this plug out. Again, we just cleaned it the other day. Quick inspection. Make sure that's not a broken spot. And that's suspect. Continuity was good. An ohms reading. But I think that's okay. Alright, now we're going to take the last one out. This one's a little stubborn. Alright, so this is the other element. It's got a little bit of some spots on here. But no breaks. That's just a little buildup. But overall, they're pretty clean. Like I said, I just cleaned them the other day. But I'll give you an idea of how clean they're running. So that's good. Let's put them back in. That's tight. Put the second one back in. A quick visual inspection. No brakes. A little bit of, not even really any buildup at all. It's really nice and clean. last one in. Alright, so they're nice and tight. Let's put all the wires back. So that is the longest. Like I said, on the order of this, it's not that big of a deal. On the Element, that is. But on these, you got your kind of like your long wire, your medium wire, and your short wire, and then you want to connect each one of these up to the tubes, to the corresponding tube. I'll put this wire back up here. Hopefully you got to rip the closet or something instead of trying to do this in a crawl space. But alright, so that one's on. And it looks like I dropped the screw somewhere. There it is. Alright, next we'll do this long line. Medium line rather. This one on that side. That one. This short line here is the last, or actually the first one. Wire right here. All right, all done. Let me open up the water valve on this side. Check for what's flowing. Check for some quick leaks. And doesn't look like anything's leaking, so we're good to fire this back up. Let's wipe off some of this water out of here. breakers on. Well, they're all good.